Okay, we're live again. Let's see if we get some folks here who will join us here on Facebook Live. Let's see, make sure this is streaming. I am not sure. Oh, there we are. Yes, we're live. Okay, guys. So this is Lauren Rainbow and Karen Paolino live take 2. For most of you, it'll be take 1. If you're out there and you're joining, and I can see now that people are joining us, this is awesome. Send us some hearts, some comments. Let us know how you're doing out there. Technically, hi, good, we're live. We're laughing because we just tried this and I had a tech issue. So we are happy to be live. Let's try this again. I'm Lauren Rainbow, and I'm here with the amazing Karen Paolino. We are here to spend a little bit of time with you guys today. We're going to talk about some cool things to know about, tips for taking care of your energy. We're going to share some messages, but what's more, Karen and I have a webinar coming up next week. Oh my God, on finding your spiritual practice. So Karen, who's here, some of you know her or new to meeting Karen, this fabulous angel goddess, which I think you are, my love, an angel goddess, is an amazing teacher, teaching a lot of people out there how to connect to their divine energy, work with their guides, connect with their soul, work with the angels. Karen, there's a lot of things you do, soul entrainment. So take it again, my love. Tell us a little more about yourself.
Well, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. We've had so much fun co-creating, and we're going to have more fun next Thursday in our workshop. But I am so happy to be here. So my work is really about connecting, helping people connect and communicate with the divine realm, angels, guides, masters, teachers, and then also connecting and communicating and enlightening their energy in soul alignment. So we are a soul in a human experience. We are divine beings in a human experience. So my work is really through certification, private sessions, and teaching is really focusing on helping people connect to their higher guidance. Because if I can do it, you can do it, right? I always believe that. So I feel I'm just so passionate about what I do. And I think that's what connects us together, because we are so passionate about what we do.
And in a weird way, when Karen and I, if you've seen us work together, either last week on her Facebook or on my Instagram a while back, we were like discovering how much I work as a medium, you work in all these other divine realms, and we have the same similar perspective, sometimes coming from a slightly different view. So we decided to team up and connect with you all. And we'll share a little bit about what it means to find your spiritual practice, so that if you guys join us next week, or you will join us next week, finding your spiritual practice is, I think, unique to each person, Karen, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what we want, go ahead.
Think, we talked about this before. I think it's the most important thing during these times is to have a spiritual practice, to I always say, to align to the divine and to ground ourselves in higher energy in the midst of everything going on in the world. I think it's essential these days.
It's so essential. And I think that finding your spiritual practice is a unique journey. And I know that what Karen and I are going to talk to you all about is finding ways to experiment with different aspects of spirituality, finding your unique voice in that, and not being afraid to try different things. I think some people feel like having their practice has to look a specific way for everybody. And we really want to show you that as different spiritual people, we have our own unique practices, but in some ways we have a lot of similar things that we love to share.
Absolutely.
So we're so excited. As you can see, this is next week. And you can go to laurenrainbow.com or Karen's website, createheaven.com, and we'll share a little bit more at the end. So Karen, I have a question. I have something I want to talk about for everybody today. And if anybody has any questions that you want to put up in the comments, we see all the hellos, all the loves. I love it. What I want to talk to you all today, and some of you may have seen my newsletter I put out, I want to talk about your energy hygiene. And I know we were talking about this a little bit before, Karen. You're like, that is such a neat way of calling it, right? Energy hygiene. And what I really talked about it being about is that we're energy beings going all over the world. We're picking up stuff from other people. Sometimes we're lingering in that energy. Sometimes we're walking in and out of physical spaces that we be picking up energy on. And sometimes that can create a little bit of heaviness in our energy, in our aura. And that it's really, really important to take care of your energy system. Now, for a lot of people, that can look like chakra meditations, energy healing. We were talking about, I love some of the ideas. I'm going to have Karen's opinion here in a second. I was talking about taking a float spa, because I know, Karen, you love to go for a float, and all that sea salt energy, so good for cleansing and taking out negative energy. Karen, what do you feel energy hygiene is, and what are some things that you like to do to take care of your energy?
Okay. So for me, I feel energy hygiene is really about clearing your energy, but also heightening your energy and ascending your energy. And so for me, and I know a lot of people here can probably relate to this, but I'm an empath. I'm very sensitive. I always have been since a little kid. That's one thing that was consistent along my journey. And so, one thing that, I want to mention also, we also pick up on the collective energy. It's not just being with other people or being environments, or sometimes we're with family, we have to clear our energy, right? But it's in the collective energy. And so for me, I discovered 6 years ago that I just kept getting this push to not take clients till after like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and to spend my morning in, quote, spiritual practice, which is, as Lauren said, my spiritual practice evolves and changes. Yes. I don't do the same thing all the time. I think because I get bored very easily.
Me too.
Right? I just do. But, these days for me, my spiritual practice, I'm big into walking and nature. Mm-hmm. So I was just telling Lauren before we came on today, I don't know. I mean, my energy was a little wonky today. I have a big project I'm launching, and I could feel this wonky, like kind of yucky. It almost feels like a heavy, mucky energy. And I'm like, I need to go. We live on a little pond. I said, I got to get in the kayak and go for a ride for like 45 minutes. And the wind is blowing, energy is moving. Mm-hmm. Right now, I have my feet on a huge slab of selenite. So crystals is another way. I mean, I have my certain crystals. I literally put them in my bra. And, I have my feet, I have selenite under my meditation chair under here. So, I've really over 25 years played with different practices, and that's what we want to share with people. Because honestly, it was one of the hardest things I did to clear my whole morning. I felt guilty. I felt like I better do something. And it was the best thing I did, because when I aligned my energy, I used the mantra, align divine. When I align my energy, it overflows into my entire day, just working with clients or family, or, dealing with all the responsibilities of the day. That's why I said, Lauren, we got to spread this, because this is, to me, right now, essential, especially for sensitives and empaths and intuitives. We also want to share how this can help your connection and communication with the divine and mediumship and your intuitive abilities by having a spiritual practice. That's a big piece of this too.
Absolutely. And I'm jumping in only because as we get to talking, like, other questions come in mind. One of the things I wanted to talk about, and Karen, we both work with people, in our own everyday work, we connect with clients and stuff. And one of the things I've noticed is a heightened sensitivity like I've never seen in my 20 years of working. And it really started last week, where even other, spiritual professionals like ourselves are feeling that energy weight. And so that's what prompted me to write about energy hygiene and taking care of yourself. And I just think it's so important that one of the things you talk about, brilliant, by the way, is the collective conscious. And we're going to do a little group reading for you guys here. Karen and I are going to, kind of share some group messaging of things that we can do. But one of the things we'll do in a moment too is open up with the heart bowl. And I want to take some heart breaths that we can do to send love to everything. Because a lot of times I think people struggle in feeling, and I saw a couple of people in the comments here talking about feeling that consciousness energy. And I don't think people often know what to do. What can we do to, connect to that consciousness and healing up there? And I know through heart breath work, we'll do a little bit together here as a group. But Karen, what do you do to maybe send love to the consciousness or send energy up to the divine, to that mass consciousness? Is there any practice that you have to share?
I work with Orosoma, which is, energetic aromatherapy sprays. And I use them for myself during my spiritual practice, but I literally give it up to the divine. And then I actually send it down to the earth. And so I do that. And on Thursdays, I do 444 readings. Yes. And every Thursday after my readings, I ask people to join in a healing exercise where they accept healing. They pick 3 people to send healing, and then we send out healing to the world. So, it's not that I'm, I feel like I'm doing it randomly during my day too, because, I feel life is like a walking prayer. So sometimes when I'm walking, I'm sending energy and light to somebody or just praying for the collective. Louie and I, this was a cool one. We played a mantra and we actually went on our little pontoon boat. We took the Green Tara mantra and played it really loud, and it echoed through the whole. And we just felt we were sending healing energy to everybody on the pond and in the world. It was amazing. So it just seems like intuitively we picked some of those things to do.
Absolutely. And we'll actually, because I remember doing that with you last Thursday, and we'll do a little bit of that with all of you here today at the end. We'll send a little love out, a lot of love out actually, to those that we love and to the energy of the universe and that mass consciousness, however you all feel guided. But Karen, are you ready to do some group connection with folks today?
Absolutely.
A little group read? So what we're going to do here in just a second, speaking of energy hygiene, I'm going to open up our energy with my heart bowl. We'll do a little heart breath together. We'll get centered as a group here for you all. I'm going to start off, and I'm going to pick 3 cards from the mediumship training deck that can help bring us some tips that we can all work with right now to stay connected, to work with spirit. And then I'm going to pass it over to Karen that way. And she's going to pick 3 cards. And this was amazing that we did this the other day because they just wove together so beautifully.
It was great.
So I'm super excited to see. So this is going to be stuff that all of you can benefit or work from. Today, you may find that some cards maybe speak louder than others to you, or the whole process as a whole. But this is what I like to call a timeless reading, that if you're catching this live or you catch this replay, at the point that you catch this replay or listen to us, you're catching what you need in that moment. And that's the beauty about spirit and timelessness. Yes?
Yeah.
So let's get us started. What I'm going to have you all do, and I'm loving the love. We are so happy to be with you all today. So thank you for sending us love here. So wherever you are, if you're driving, be mindful. But if you're in a seated spot, take a moment, everyone, to either soften your gaze or close your eyes for a moment. And I'm going to open up our energy here today with the heart bowl. So we're just going to ring this. And I want you all to take in a nice deep breath. And allow the energy of the heart bowl to open up your heart, your space, your energy. I'm going to invite you all to put your mind into the heart space and to start with a big, deep breath of love into your heart. So breathe in the energy of love. And as you exhale, everybody, I want you to feel you exhaling that love deeper into the heart, into your being. So you're returning a little bit of love to yourself here today, nurturing your soul, your spirit, all parts of you that need that little nushy energy of love. And I'm going to invite you all again to take a nice deep breath of love into the heart. And this time I'll ask you to exhale out through the heart and open up the energy of your heart outward to the world, like a beautiful stretch of energy and love. And we're going to set an intention as a group that as Karen and I work here with you today, and we work with these energies, we're bringing in the highest, the best information, inspiration, clarity, compassion, whatever your heart, your soul is needing to gain. We are open to receiving only the highest and best for us, for you, and for all those who come to this call, to this message at their time. We take a deep breath of gratitude into the heart, everyone. Exhaling that gratitude out to our angels, masters, spirit team who are joining here with us. We're so grateful for their presence, their ever loving support in our lives, and grateful for this opportunity to receive messages. All right.
And so it is.
And so it is. So I'll get us started here today, everyone. And I'm going to pick, like I said, 3 cards from the mediumship training deck. The mediumship training deck, some of you may know, I'll share a little bit about here, is a deck that I created with my dear friend, John Holland, a good friend of Karen's as well. We love John. And we created this deck, John and I, with some wonderful cards that have tips and techniques for developing not only your connection with spirit, but we really tried to create a cohesive deck where we can find other tips that also may have, like last time, ways of helping our soul, our spiritual hygiene, anything that we need to know in this moment to bring us energy, love, and grace in our life. So let's see what 3 energies. I don't want to look at the cards. I like to pick completely at random. So I'm probably dropping them. When you 2 and 3. Ooh. Oh my God, Karen. So one of these is a repeat from the other day.
Wow, that's interesting.
Which is, I think, well, I love those who have the deck. That's awesome. I think that this is so key. And again, it's the first one out of the deck. Nurturing thyself. Oh my God. This is what's so amazing about doing these messages. This came up first with Karen and I last Thursday when we were in Karen's Facebook Live. Nurturing thyself is all about spiritual hygiene, energy hygiene. We were just talking about, what do you need in your life that takes care of your soul, your energy, your spirit, all aspects of you. And obviously, if this is coming up again, and we were just talking about the energy, the empathy of the world being so intense right now, it's extra important that you really carve out that time like Karen's done. And I have my mornings for me as well to be that time of waking up and being with my own energy, doing whatever I can to prepare myself for the day. So nurturing yourself. What does your soul and body need to feel strong, to feel clear, to feel in the flow of grace? Yes. So as we did the other day, I'm going to put this on the side of me. I'm going to have you all soften your gaze for a moment or close your eyes, breathe into your heart space where you just were kind of resting in your breath. And we're going to ask your heart to bring up the very first thing that comes to your heart's mind. What does your soul most need right now to feel nurtured, to feel cared for, to feel grounded, centered, and or in the flow of grace? Take a deep breath, everyone. And trust that first feeling. This is the intuitive practice, right? Trusting that first feeling. And share in the comments if anybody wants little tips that come up, like maybe a float spa visit. That's clearly going to be one of mine. Or a kayaking journey on your local lake or pond, or walk in the woods, or a massage. What's coming up for you guys that your soul is feeling called for nurturing? So share those in the comments if you like. Rest. That's always a good one. And the next one is we're talking. I love these cards today, Karen. They're amazing. This one is soul guidance. Oh my God. We've got, by the way, I'm seeing the comments for love, retreat. Everybody, you're getting your kind of nurture thyself in there. So I would ask you to take a breath. If you're feeling the energy of love, keep breathing that love into your heart as we were just doing. But also ask your heart, what sort of love are you looking for? Soul love, spiritual love, self-care love. See what comes up a little time with your sister. That's always good, right? Soul guidance. Isn't that a gorgeous card? I think this is one of my favorites in the deck for its imagery. Soul guidance, as Karen and I both know, and this goes into nurturing thyself, really trusting what your soul needs right now. Soul guidance is a way of tuning into your intuitive voice. The voice for me is in the center of your heart, and trusting how it wants to move you forward in this world. And again, we're in a very heightened time of sensitive energy. So your soul guidance, I think sometimes people get stuck here a little bit, Karen. When we're feeling overwhelmed, when we're feeling unusually empathic, our soul guidance and our ego can kind of fight with each other a little bit, right? So I think this is a time where I say, be brave and listen to that soul guidance, even though your ego might be kicking your butt a little bit right now. So while some of you may be feeling the need for peace, connection, love, however you want to nurture yourself, but then your ego goes, but I've got to work 9 to 5 and I got to do all these crazy things. You want to go back to the trusting of that first connection in your soul and really make place in your life for that nurturing energy to happen. Soul guidance is also really good in helping us just lean forward in life sometimes. Right now, a lot of people are either stuck in between. They're either finding like they want to make a big shift in their life and not sure where they want to go. I'm seeing this a lot. Or some people feel a little bit stuck, not sure, should they go somewhere, waiting for something big to happen. And sometimes it is about patience and waiting. So if your soul is even telling you, be a little patient, rest, as some of you are seeing, personal discovery, by the way, I'm seeing some of these gorgeous comments, then really be brave, be courageous, and allow that soul guidance to be the first thing that you trust right now. And that can really ultimately change your life for the better. I love soul guidance. Karen, do you have any thoughts on this one? Because you work with soul entrainment. So I want you to jump in on this one a little bit.
I'm like jumping out. I'm like, so can you put up that first card again?
Yes. And there's still one more that's going to knock your socks off. So
well, this is what's so interesting. Actually, my new deck is called Ask Your Soul Knows, right? And so the image on the front of the deck is very similar to that. But I have to tell you the importance to that card. Your soul chakra is right above your head, right? Mm-hmm. So we have 7 chakras in the physical body, but we have a soul star chakra in the etheric body. And so that is actually a spiritual practice that I do with people for their soul work. Is I ask people, everybody can do it now, take a nice deep breath in, come up to your soul star chakra, just breathe and connect with your soul. And then turn your palms out and extend your soul's light all around your energy field. So literally you come into oneness with your soul through that practice. So when I'm doing soul portraits and soul readings, I'll literally open up my soul energy first, and then I'll go and I'll ask to open up in oneness with the soul of the person that I'm working with. So that's and the butterflies on the other card, butterflies are a symbol of the soul. You know, when hospice, they use the soul releases from the body like a butterfly, you know, coming. It's beautiful. So it's interesting that those both are very soul connecting cards.
And then the power of prayer. I love this card, which is, I think that even what we were talking about before, like sending up love to the mass consciousness, the soul consciousness. And I love how you brought up something very important that you and I are both big fans of, is the oneness. And the power of prayer can be done in so many forms, right? Setting intent, setting out love. I sometimes love just to send the power of love, trusting the intelligence of love to know exactly where love needs to go, right? I always feel like sometimes we want to be directive and say, this person needs that, this person needs that. Sometimes I'm like, just send them love with no directive and trust the intelligence of love to know exactly what that person, what your soul may need, what the oneness may need. But the power of prayer is just the ability to take a moment to go within, to send love, prayer, intent, positive vibes, whatever it is that you're looking for to bring connection to yourself and or others. And when we pray, especially when we pray for not only some grace in our lives, which I think grace is, to me, the asking for grace. There's nothing more important. And grace can look so different for so many people. Like, I asked for grace and my day was really tough. Like, what would that have been like if you didn't ask, you know? But asking just for the healing and connecting and sending power of prayer to our guides, our angels and masters, asking them to magnify or work with our intent, our energy, but always sending out, as we did even at the beginning, and Karen, I know you love to do, the highest and best for all, for yourself and for all of humanity. Sometimes if we just simply ask for our highest and best and that we're open to receive, can be a simple but powerful prayer. Karen, any thoughts on prayer from your perspective?
I just love the image on that card, the aura that's around her. And that's what happens when you're in prayer. Your soul life expands. I mean, to me, the day is a walking prayer. I love that card.
I love that. The day should be a walking prayer. Right? And I mean, Karen, kudos to you. I think that if there's anybody I know in this world who probably walks in prayer all day long, it's you. You've just got that gorgeous light that's like, hi, everybody. Hi, angels. What's going on? And I love that. And I think we all need to even have more of that. I know I do in my own lifetime. I was like, thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
But
you're very good with gratitude. You're very good with gratitude.
Well, I think, and that's an important part of the prayer, isn't it? Sometimes it's sending up the gratitude. I'm always grateful for being heard, for being able to send up my energy, my thoughts, my prayers. I'm always so grateful to Spirit for what they do bring our way. And I know we talk about this. I know this can be really challenging for some people, but since you brought it up, I think it's so important, especially again now, we're in probably one of the biggest energy shifts that we felt since this pandemic. A lot of people are exhausted. They're tired. They've been locked up for so long. We're going stir crazy and we still feel stuck. So sometimes we do need that gratitude pause. Like, really, what are the simple things in your life right now you can be grateful for? Whether that's having family in your life, a four-legged fur baby around you, a home, food on the table. Finding the simplest things to feel grateful for just opens up the door for so much more. And I think you would agree with this, Karen. Isn't gratitude, we always say gratitude is their food. So sending up the gratitude to our guides, angels, masters, the divine, the oneness, whenever we are, even though we haven't received, just shows that we're grateful to be heard and that we know we're being heard. Yeah. Sometimes I think gratitude is about knowing. It's about understanding and saying, I know that I'm just grateful to be here and to be in this moment, to be here with you all today. And having that gratitude changes so much in the flow and adding flow and grace to your life. So a wonderful little addition there. So today, guys, that's on my end. We've got prayer, soul guidance. I can't wait to see what's coming out of your deck, Karen.
I know,
and nurture thyself. So I'm going to turn this over to Karen and see what 3 cards she's picked for us today.
Well, I just think it's so beautiful. The one powerful thing is intention. And we put that intention out there. How can we support others in self-care, in what did you call it? Hygiene, energy hygiene. So we put out that intention and it shows up in the reading. We ask for support, we get it. We pray, we put out the prayer and it comes. So first of all, my main squeeze in the divine realm is the Blessed Mother. I was raised Jewish, so it's pretty surprising when the Blessed Mother showed up in my meditations over and over again. And I pretty much said, why are you coming to me? There's a lot of Catholic people looking for you out there. What are you coming to me for? But, as I opened up to the divine realm, and we've talked about this, Lauren, and we both feel this way, really all the divine beings, it's really love. I mean, it's universal love. So we've created, man has created religion. And unfortunately, there's been a lot of walls put up through religion. But for me, my spiritual journey, my spiritual practice is really connecting with all that love is. And I really encourage people to open up to all that love is. So our first card is the Divine Mother Mary. Okay. And these are, I can't wait to have I keep saying this, but I can't wait to have my oracle cards because you must feel such a connection reading your own oracle cards. I can't imagine. I know what it's going to feel like and how I created them. It's going to be so exciting to use them. But I love Tony Carmine Salerno's deck, Angel, God, and Goddess deck. I highly recommend it. I've been using it for, I don't know, 10 years now. And this card is called the Angel of Relaxation. It literally says, let go of your desired outcome and you will get what you want. So part of a beautiful spiritual practice, which is very challenging for people, but it is grace, like you said, is the surrender practice. So this card is all about surrender. What are you holding on to that you're literally, I bring in my workshops and retreats a tug of war, and I have people on both ends, and I ask them to do the normal tug of war, but to think of something. I want everybody to do this now. Think of something you're holding on tight to, or you're trying to control, or you want it a certain way, or you expect it to be, oh my God, I can think of 5 on my head right now, that you really want to, you're just gripping, right? And what does gripping do? Just do this yourself. How's it feel to grip? It's exhausting, right? And it's energy. It's a lot of energy. So really, I tell people, connect with that and then drop the rope. And when you drop the rope, look at your hands. We need to surrender it up to the divine and say, I need help. I need support. Show me the way. Guide me. These are practices that I go to the divine with all the time. Show me the money. Like, I mean, seriously, I love it. Sometimes when we let go, a way is shown. Something, a messenger comes. You open a book and there's a message in there. So this card is really about let go, surrender, give it to the Divine Mother. If that resonates with you, you don't have to go to her, but she's the miracle worker. But really, this is let go and trust. Because, surrender and trust, I did a whole 40-day journey and wrote a book about surrender and trust. They go hand in hand. The ego does not like surrender. Okay, because the ego likes to control. The ego likes to figure everything out. It wants to know exactly what's happening. But your soul knows if you surrender and let go and open up and ask, the way will be shown. Okay. All right. So I was so happy to see your face come up in the reading.
And we've got a lot of Mother Mary and Divine Mother energy here today from the folks. So that's awesome.
Okay, so now our next card. Well, I talked about this. Just look at the beauty of this card. To me, whenever this card comes up in a reading, it's just about peace. And the card is Goddess of Nature. You reap what you sow. Your dream is coming to fruition. So to me, these go hand in hand. So whatever you're really wanting, wishing, expecting, it's time to let it go. And, this is also the card about nature. This is about go into nature and really, if you're really wanting is, it's kind of an ego energy, but I love the word intention. I love the word about opening up to manifestation. But really, this is about, we're back to the word trust. I feel like trust is such a huge word, but we're back to trust that if your dream, your wish, your desire have not come into fruition yet, again, Lauren picked the card prayer. Yeah. Give it up to prayer, okay? Keep focusing, to me, when you align with the feeling of what you want, not necessarily the details, because the ego likes to, figure out all the details. But if you align to the feeling, so everybody, I want you to pick a feeling, go into your heart center, like Lauren said, breathe into your heart and ask yourself, think about that dream, that wish, that desire. But I'm going to ask you, what do you really want to feel? Okay? Because feeling is the energy of the soul. And when we start to focus on what we really want to feel, we send that manifestation out. And honestly, sometimes we can get better than we can ever imagine. Okay, so my prayer, people know me for this mantra, be open to your highest and best, better than you could ever imagine. Because your soul knows better than you could ever imagine. The divine, sometimes we're stuck in unworthiness or limitation, or we don't have a perspective of the unlimited potential of this divine universe. So those of you that have been waiting, you feel like, how many of you have felt this during these past year and a half, like the pause button is on? When is somebody going to take off that pause button? Right? But start living the feeling of what you desire, and that's part of your manifestation. Start cultivating that now. That's what we're going to talk about in spiritual practice. When I coach people, I always say, what do you want to feel? What do you really want? And start cultivating that now. Don't wait until it shows up to you. You draw it forth through your powerful energy. Remember, you picked the card sitting in the power.
Last week, yes.
Right?
Love
and that,
it.
to me, sitting in the power is saying, all right, I'm going to cultivate this feeling of what I desire right now. So we pick something each day to cultivate that feeling. So put in the comments the feeling you really want that's a part of your dream, okay? All right, next card.
Karen, you're like, ready, guys?
This is the soul love card, but it is the card of self-love and valuing your own self, right? And spiritual practice to me is saying, I'm worth it. I'm worth taking the time. I value myself. I value my energy, right? When you say energy hygiene, well, we have to value and love ourselves enough to say, I deserve to take care of myself. I deserve to take time out for my spiritual practice. I deserve to wrap my arms around and say, you know, all is well today. All is well today. And so in order to receive, you have to align to that self-love. And, you know, to me, I feel like old souls that really have that intent and, you know, desire for self-love, it's not an easy journey, right? It's a practice. I can't tell you how much I love that we're sharing in practice. We have to practice self-love. We're taught so different than self-love, right? And so spiritual practice is not selfish. Self-love is not selfish. I change it into put self first and self-care, and then you can overflow that love to everyone else. Think about it. If you loved yourself and you valued yourself, wouldn't it be easy to love other people and value them, right? It'd be natural.
And one thing that's coming up, Karen, as you're talking is, you know, I feel like when we take care of ourselves, we can show up 100%. And don't you deserve to show up 100% for the life that you've chosen to walk here? And so if you're exhausted, we're going back to energy hygiene. I feel like nurture thyself and self-love is like really just bringing this full circle connection of, you know, when you take care of your energy, when you're the best that you can be, and every day's part is different. We have to understand that every day is going to be different, but to show up to the best 100% you can to your life in that moment is where you really just show that, like you saying, you're worth it. And that's something we really talk about, or are going to talk about next week, is understanding your worth. And understanding why, not just why you're worth it, but simply that you are. And by giving yourself these moments, whether it's nurturing yourself, helping to build that practice, and allowing that time for you, you're showing up 100% for your life. And I know you said something brilliant, and I agree with this 100%, is, you know, I always tell people when I became a medium, I was like crazy at the time. I was like, what am I doing? But in the last 20 years, and it's been officially 20 years for me on 9/11, that I've been full blown into this 100% committed journey. And I now live a life that I could never have imagined. I live a life better than I could ever have imagined. And that to me took me showing up though 100%, the day after 9/11 happened, to making some big changes in my life, listening to this inner call and going, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm 25 years old, but we're going to see what happens, And it's part of the trust I think we need to just share with everybody is trusting that even though we don't know, and as intuitives, as people who do work to help people find that potential, at the end of the day, I don't always like to get readings because I like to be surprised by what the universe has for me. And I feel like if I have too much expectation of what's to come, then I'm not living in grace. I'm looking for this to happen, or I'm looking for that specific to happen. Yeah. And so allowing yourselves to sometimes just trust and live in the moment, not caring or worrying about what's coming, makes your life that much more fluid. Yeah. Actually, I just saw a quick question come up, and I think that we'll answer this quick question. We'll do a little energy with everyone. But I saw it pop up, and I think it's a great one for us, Karen. I just had mentioned, I jumped full in. How did you take that first step to jump in and do it? And I'd be curious because you went through a lot, and we talked about it on Instagram, but Rhonda, I'll share with you that very fast about my spiritual journey. The day before 9/11 happened, I was laid off unexpectedly from the most amazing job I could ever imagine at that point. And just before this happened, I was living in a retired funeral home. Yes, that's true. And spiritual energy was high, and it was shifting my consciousness in ways, and that will become a book, I guess, at some point. But long story short, I woke up to 9/11. And as we all remember, you can remember exactly where you were and what happened that day. And then the very next day, I get a call to come to a spiritual center and do a prayer for humanity. And at my mind, I was spiritually open, but I had no idea. What do you mean a prayer? Talk about the power of prayer. What a prayer for humanity was, or energy work. I had no idea what that was. All I knew is I was at the end of my rope. The world was to be changing before my eyes, and I had nothing better to do. So I thought I would jump in, give something a try. And I realized I not only had found a community that understood me, but I knew at that moment, I had already felt the calling of spirit. I had already started to work with a medium, but I knew in that moment, I had really no choice but to just figure it out. I dove in, I dedicated my life to developing mediumship, energy work. For 4 years, I dove head in, and I lived my life in this crazy, insane spiritual learning. And then the rest is history. It's just been this constant growth from what was like a psychic party psychic to now, sitting here with the amazing Karen Paolino sharing love with you all. So Karen, what kind of maybe gave you that first step? What was, real quick intuitive step that helped you dive in and commit? Because I know you had a similar shift in your own way.
Right. And I want to make sure everybody knows you don't have to go through crisis or huge change, but it's sometimes it's the cosmic boot. Okay. Yes. So my cosmic boot was, it was 25 years ago, and I went for a doctor's appointment, and they found a lump on my throat. And within 2 weeks, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. So I was on the cancer journey, and I was not awakened and very much unconscious. I was in the corporate world. My kids were 4 and 1. And I was teaching aerobics at a gym, and I started to go to a meditation class that randomly came to the gym, which, when was the last time you saw meditation in a gym? And during my very first time, I had a guardian angel come sit with me in my meditation, and she would continue to sit with me throughout my whole journey with cancer. And again, I thought I was making it up, but it made me feel so good. I didn't care. I didn't tell anyone. And then somebody had talked about at the gym, a psychic coming to their house, and I had gone through the 9 months of treatment and surgery and everything like that. And it literally came out of my mouth, "Can I come?" And she's like, "Sure." And I didn't know anyone. I hadn't never been to her house. And I sat with this woman who she just asked me my name and my birth date. And she gave me a reading, and she told me so many things about my life. I never had a psychic reading. But then she described my guardian angel exactly how I saw in my meditations. And she told me things that only my guardian angel hadn't told anyone. She had mirrored those things that my guardian angel said. And I left. I didn't speak to her the whole time. I just cried and left, ran out of the party. And that was it. That was the door that opened for me that said, if a complete stranger can hear and see what I'm seeing, then it has to be real. And that was it. I was full in. I was meditating every day. I was writing to my guardian angel. I was reading every book I could. And that was it. And there was nothing that was going to turn me back. And I would have never imagined, like you said, the journey has been very healing. And I've had to, I don't tell anyone you have to do the work, but it's my life has, I'm a completely different person. It's better than I could ever imagine.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it just gets, I think sometimes for people to understand too, is that we're stuck in a very interesting time and shift. But I'm looking forward, even though I feel like we're on pause, and I like how you said, I feel like everybody just hit pause and we're waiting, but I'm still looking forward to the new way that we're going to be able to move and create and bring so much more love and joy once we hit that play button, which I have a feeling, Karen, is not much longer.
Right. I think we're hitting, it's pause, play.
Right.
I think that's why we're exhausted. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's take a moment to do a little healing energy for you all today, to hopefully do some energy hygiene with you all. We're going to do a little clearing. I'll get us started with a little heart breath, a little, bowl energy here. And then Karen, I'll turn it over to you to kind of add some stuff to this.
Okay.
So everybody, wherever you are, take a moment to soften your gaze or close your eyes, whatever feels best for you. First, start with a beautiful, deep, relaxing breath. Breathe in. Exhale and allow your body to open and soften, to receive and to be present in this healing moment. Put your mind into the heart space. Take a deep breath into the heart. Feel the energy of love filling your heart space. Keep breathing the love in and let your heart fill to overflowing. Keep breathing in the love and let your heart fill to overflowing so that out of you is an endless source of love that's just flowing, beautiful, divine. And we take a moment to call in our guides, our angels, our masters, and most especially the light of the universe, the oneness, to shine down upon you all. So imagine that there's a beautiful, radiant sun of love just pouring healing light over all of your body and your energy. Allow this light, allow the sun to clear and cleanse all the energy outside of your being. And as you breathe that light into the heart. And as you exhale, let that light move through every cell of your physical being and just be radiant with light and love. Miss Karen, I invite you to share.
So I'm just going to ask you to invite your divine family to come very close. And the journey of self-love, sometimes we have to feel the unconditional love of our divine family, our loved ones in spirit. The Blessed Mother Mary, who loves unconditionally. So I want you to just breathe one with unconditional love so you can feel and know and practice with that unconditional love. Feel your whole body just surrender. Ask for all that love is to be infused in every aspect of your being. And as you do that, just surrender up a prayer, a request to the divine, a feeling you would love to experience in embodiment. Ask and you shall receive. And just like the butterfly on Lauren and John's card, let that prayer request go into the divine light. And as it moves into the divine light, say, and so it is. That is your faith and trust that it's already done. And so it is.
And so it is.
And say, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I love that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we just take one more breath of love into the heart. Exhale that out to all the world, from Mother Earth to the heavens above, the peoples that walk this planet, the plants, the animal kingdom, wherever your heart feels guided. Take a few deep breaths of love and just send it out. And remember, trust that the energy of love will know exactly what to do.
And so it is.
And so it is. Take a grounding breath if you need it, wherever you are. Oh my God, every time we do that, Karen, I'm always feeling like,
oh no.
Oh, Angel Karen, it's been such a joy being here with you today.
I'm so grateful.
I
love co-creating, and I can't wait to co-create more.
Absolutely. I love working with you. I love how our energy works. We see people going, and so it is. And if any of you want to, next Thursday, September 23rd, you can catch Karen and I for our live webinar. You can go to laurenrainbow.com or createheaven.com at Karen's website and register. It starts at 6 p.m. Eastern time, I believe. And we're also going to give some spirit messages and some inspired messages. So we'll do some teaching and share some messages for some folks in the audience there as well. And I know you'll see us here again. We have perhaps some Instagram lives coming up as well. So keep an eye on our posts if you want to catch Karen and I again. Angel, thank you so much. Everybody send out love and gratitude. Send up the hearts, the love. We're so grateful to all of you for being here with us tonight. I actually, one more last thing before you go. I'm going to be live tomorrow again here on Facebook Live at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time with my friend Jorge Luis Delgado, the amazing Inca shaman and Chacaruna. He's going to be teaching us some really cool things to know about this time during the time of the Inca. He'll also be visiting us here in Massachusetts the week of the 20th. So during Equinox week. So catch us back here tomorrow. Me. Karen, thank you.
Blessings, everyone. Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Have a gorgeous night. We love you all.